Hello and welcome to your Java programming course, and in this video we're going to continue working with if statements. Now, as we saw in the last episode, we can check an integer to see if it is below a certain number or above a certain number or equal to it. In this episode we're going to deal with the scenario if we have to choose a number between two other numbers, and how do we check to see if that integer fulfills the requirements. So to do so, let's first create our integer. Int num equals, let's say 15. And now we need to create an if statement that's able to check if, let's say, the number is in between 10 and 20. Now to do that, we type in our if statement, if num is greater than or equal to 10. Okay, so now we know that it's checking to see if the number's above or equal to 10, but how do we check if it's in between? Well, let's see if our OR that we learned in the last video helps us there. So num is less than and equal to 20. Create our brackets and let's just say yes in our system out print line. So now this should work if our number is above or equal to 10, or if our number is less than or equal to 20. So let's try it out now. It prints yes, which is correct. 15 is in between 10 and 20. Let's see if our if statement works for numbers that aren't in between 10 and 20. Let's say 25. It prints yes again. How is this possible? We have created an if statement that says the numbers in between 10 and 20. Yet 25 is not in between those two. So how is it printing yes? It's because the OR allows it to be one or the other. So it doesn't have to fulfill both requirements, it just needs to fulfill one. So in this case, it fulfills the first requirement. Num is greater than or equal to 10. And 25 is greater than 10. So it prints yes without having to check the second one. If num was below 10, it would do the same thing. It will ignore the first parameter, which it doesn't fulfill, and look at the second one. 5 is definitely less than 20, so it will still print yes. So how do we fix this problem? Well, this is where the AND comes in. We double tap our AND symbol, Shift 7, and we've created AND. And what this does is it compares both of them and finds where both of them meet. In this case, they both meet between 10 and 20 inclusive. So when we run that program, it doesn't print anything. But if we type in 10, it prints yes. If we type in 15, prints yes. 20, yes again. But above 20, it does not. So our if statement has done exactly what we hoped to do. It has checked the integer and found out if the number is in between two certain numbers. Now let's pose an easier scenario to end off on. Let's say we create a playground and only children below the age of 12 are allowed on it. So what will we write in our if statement to determine whether the integer is 12 or below? I recommend pausing the video here and trying to do it yourself. Unpause when you have completed your task and I'll show you the answer. Okay, let's work on it now. Let's change first the num to something that fits our if statement, so let's say 10. And our if statement will be num is less than or equal to 12. When we run the program, it prints yes. It works the same if we type in 12, and if it is above, it does not run, exactly as we hoped. In the next video, we'll move on from if statements to loops.